and welcome to today's special anniversary live Q&A. I'm Katie Keith, CEO and founder at Barn2.
And I'm Sam, the head of video here at Barn2. We're very excited today to be celebrating 10 years of Barn2. I don't know what that's like. I've only been with Barn2 for 3 years, although that does feel like quite a long time, honestly. But congratulations, Katie, on this big milestone. I'm sure everyone in the team and everyone around is very happy to get to this part. Yeah.
Yeah, well, really, it's 16 years of Barn2 or something, but we're counting from 10 because that's when we launched our first plugin, WooCommerce Password Protected Categories, as it was called then. So that was like what made the company what it is today, rather than a web design agency like we were before. So that's why it feels like 10 years of launching our first plugin and becoming what we are.
Awesome. Well, we have a great live stream for you guys coming up. So we're going to be answering some of your pre-submitted questions. But the best thing about this show is that we can also answer your questions live, and we really like to do that. So please let us know in the comments from wherever you're watching. You can actually leave us a comment, and we'll be able to see it and reply live on the air. And that's always what makes these shows really special. We really do these shows for you guys, so you guys can learn anything you want from us about our tools and plugins, or just about WordPress in general. So yeah, that's what we're here to do. So without further ado, I think we'll just jump into what's next, or what's first up for us, I guess.
Well, first up is the discount, isn't it?
Oh, nice. Yes, absolutely. So for this last week or so, we've been celebrating our 10th anniversary with 10% off plugins. But for those of you who are watching live, we have a special promo, which is 25% off with this code LIVE25. And the special thing about this code is it does not work except during the live stream and for 1 hour after the live stream ends. So it really is an exclusive discount just for you guys who are watching live. Alrighty. So we have some great questions from you guys, and we're going to just jump straight into our first plugin. And by the way, guys, when you leave your comments, we'll see about getting to them right away. But if we're going through a specific plugin and you ask about a different plugin, we might get to that just a little bit later on. So we have WooCommerce Product Options first. I'm going to bring that up on the screen. If you can bring up the banner, Katie.
Okay.
Let's try this one. Awesome. You can see all my lovely tabs up there, actually, but that makes it easier when I do change tabs. All right, so let's talk about WooCommerce Product Options, the first plugin today. This is an excellent plugin if you are selling on WooCommerce and you have variable products of really any kind. But standard variations is one thing, but this plugin actually takes it a whole lot further. What you're looking at right now is what I would describe as pretty ordinary product page. But when I click this button here, then suddenly the page is transformed and we have a whole bunch of visual options. This is using conditional logic, by the way, to show or hide the options. So we have, for example, the gift wrapping option. These are image buttons, and these can actually update the product image if you want them to. And then you can also add color options like color swashes. And by the way, this can apply to really any of your plugin products, using this plugin. And there are also things like text input fields. So what this plugin does is it adds more than 16 different option types to product pages, which allow your customers to modify those products before they check out. And each of these modifications can have additional costs associated with them, like additional prices, markups, and things like that. And you can even bundle together and add different products into it. So let me just find one more example here of something else to show off, something a little bit different. Let's see about this Mother's Day bouquet. So here we have some radio button options. These are different from checkboxes because with radio buttons, you only select one out of the normally available. And then again, we have some image buttons. But the great thing here is we're actually linking products together. And we recently added quantity pickers. So if you want to add this product in to your cart, you can add one or you can add more than one. And then you can see the cart total is adding up there very quickly because it's quite expensive. So yeah, if you want to add all of these different items into this single basket, then you're bundling everything together. Right. So that's a basic premise of what the plugin does. Now let's get into the questions. Alrighty. So let me find that question. No, that's not that's not the button. There it
I've
is.
got it.
Thanks.
So, how do you pronounce that? Is it Christos? Says, I need something like this, a mix and match product with icon and this drop down. Can I do that with any of your plugins? So yeah, I think that sounds exactly like WooCommerce Product Options because of the mixing and matching of mix and match product can mean different things. It might mean mixing and matching different products from your store, which you can do. Sam's just gone onto the smartphone product page. These accessories are actually literal products from your store. So if you want to mix and match different products as opposed to variations or options that you created in our plugin, you can do that too. So here you're mixing and matching accessories. And he also mentioned icon and drop down. Yeah, you can have this style here, which is an image button with like checkboxes in. You can have a drop down, which actually has little icons in the drop down. You can add an image within a drop down. I don't know if we've done it on that.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I don't
where.
know.
Yeah.
I can't think of any demo product that has that. The
Okay.
pizza one has check boxes that have little images, which is similar to how you can add little images to a drop down. But anyway, there's all sorts of different styles that you can have, combining text and images within a drop down or check boxes or anything you want really. So I think that would work really well. And if you're doing mix and match, I like the idea of maybe structuring the options into categories. You could add headings above different groupings. So if we think about the smartphone product, there might have been a category with all the cases that you can choose and accessories. Or maybe if you're building a gift hamper product or a gift basket, I'm told they call it in the US, to build a gift basket, you would have the hamper options where it might be a maximum quantity of one, where you choose your box, and then you would have a different category with all the products that can go in that box, and that would have a different maximum quantity if it had one at all. And they could all be different products from your store that you're mixing and matching. So yeah, I think it's perfect for that.
So wait, you call it a gift hamper, yeah?
Yes, I made
Yeah.
this
Okay.
mistake years ago when we published a tutorial about how to use our plugins to create a gift hamper. And then my American friend told me that we were losing out on SEO clicks because they call it a basket. So we rewrote our article to focus on both.
I just think it's funny because when it comes to the difference between British and American, basket is the term British people use for the cart on the e-commerce shop page.
True.
Yeah.
And also and you call a hamper, you use that for your laundry basket, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That you put dirty clothes in? Or not you, you're not from the US. I have no idea what
Oh,
you
but
use.
I know it well. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a weird mixture of the two.
Yeah, I'm a mixture of many now. I've got
Yeah,
so many different living experiences under my belt. So
yeah.
yeah. Right. So the basic answer for, I'm guessing, Christos is yes, you can do that with our plugin. That's the short answer. All right. I have another question, and this one is about accessibility. So is product options and specifically the live preview plugin accessible? And he lists a number of different ways in which it should be accessible. Now, I spoke with the lead developer on product options and live preview. And by the way, I didn't actually show off live preview. I'll just bring that up really quickly. So this is personalized mug. What is live preview? Live preview is where you can put any image onto the item and preview it as if that's what you're going to be getting from the print shop. So is it accessible? Uh, well, in the current version, it's lacking a lot of accessibility features. Although the basic product options plugin is built to be accessible, the live preview plugin needs an update to become more accessible. That's the short answer. He gave me a lot more details about that. So he said, yeah, admittedly, it's not accessible at the moment, but it will be addressed in an upcoming version. So, yeah, and thank you for your question, Nikolaus. It's a really important topic, obviously, and that's one of the things. It is one of our newer plugins, so understandably, there are a lot of things we had to work out in terms of the functionality side, just to get it to the point where we liked it, and then we build in all the rest of the features after that. All right. That covers our questions for WooCommerce Product Options, but we will be coming back to this plugin from time to time as we talk about some of the others on our list. Still looking forward to responding to your live comments. If you guys are watching, maybe you can just, say happy birthday to Katie because it was her birthday the other day. All right. Cool. So we have another plugin coming up, which is WooCommerce Bulk Variations. Now, do I need to hide my screen right now? I think so.
Well, you've
Or have I
written
got that one?
Sam introduced the
Oh, it
plugin,
does.
but I
Oh, it
am
does say
happy
me.
to.
Oh, cool. No, I got it. I got it. It's right here. I did set them up in advance. At least I was having camera issues, but I did have all my tabs open, so that's good.
Yeah, got to use those tabs.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about bulk variations. So, what's the difference between bulk variations and product options? Well, this particular screen that I'm showing is more related to a question that we'll answer in a moment, which is why I'm showing it. But basically, the bulk variations app is really great for displaying multiple different sets of variations of products on a single product page. So typically, if you have 2 or 3 different attributes like color and size, for example, then those will just be displayed as drop downs. Or if you use our product options plugin, you might have color swashes and then maybe a drop down or some other way to choose the size. But what bulk variations does, and I'll actually show you on a different demo so it's a little easier to see, is it creates a grid of those products. So each individual variation of the product is selectable, and you can add multiple items of that variation into your cart at once. So, for example, 2 extra small red T-shirts and 2 extra large yellow T-shirts, and I can add them all at once rather than having to find my 2 red ones, add them to the cart, go back to the product page, find my 2 yellow ones, add them to the cart, and so on until I have all of my variations. And so this is a really powerful feature. And there's actually something that this plugin does on the back end, which it makes the handling of, or should I say, the editing of variable products much faster because of the filters that are added. Yeah, I don't have a demo ready to show you that, but basically take my word for it. You save a lot of time when you're editing dozens or even hundreds of variations at once. Alrighty, so we have a question. And this is for Katie. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh says, if I already have the WooCommerce Product Options plugin, would the bulk variations plugin mean I can upload an image and it would live preview on every product when I change attributes? Yes. Is live preview set up on the bulk variations demo though, Sam?
Let's check it.
Yeah, because it might not be.
So we've uploaded the image,
but it hasn't popped up live.
but
I
it
think we're just. Yeah, I think I've got one. I think the one on the product options demo does have live preview. I'm just testing that quickly. Yes, it does. Okay. So
yeah, you want to show?
Yeah, I'll share mine. Okay.
I'll just hide the question because it takes up quite a lot of the screen, and we want to demo the screen.
So yeah, this demo page, which is on the WooCommerce Product Options demo, uses bulk variations, as you can see in the table of variations. And then below, we've used WooCommerce Product Options to add a text field where you can write something to go on the t-shirt, and also a file upload field. So now I have to find a suitable image. Here is a picture of my husband working in a cafe. That'll make a good t-shirt. So anyway, as you can see, it has popped up in the live preview because we have the live preview add-on installed. And this is a page, don't know why I clicked twice there, sorry, but this is now showing on a page with WooCommerce bulk variations. So I can select as many as I want. If I had added, say, a t-shirt with a printable area for the red variation, then that could work with the live preview as well. So you could see what it would look like and all of that. So yeah, they fully work together, and a lot of people use that combination, particularly for clothing.
Yeah, it requires a little bit of thoughtful setup. We have explanations on our knowledge base, and I believe even a YouTube video about how to set up the live preview plugin specifically. And also, you just have to, you have to be mindful about how you're setting up your products with the live preview integration. All right. So this is a question from Keely, and there's two parts to this question. Can WooCommerce bulk variations handle a product with 95 color variations, letting users add different quantities of each shade to their cart? And that's why I've loaded up this demo here. However, you can see there's only 5 variations here. We'll get into that in just a second. But the point is that each color variation has its own title, its own price, and its own picker, like a quantity picker for however many you want to add. Now, the caveat is you can see that there are just 5 here. And if there were more than 5, it would be a side scrolling. So it would just be going on and on and on towards the, infinity. So what we actually suggest is maybe a slightly different way to set this up, which is actually with product options. But before that, I'm going to just explain the second part of the question. And Keely also wants to know, is there a way to set fixed role-based prices per shade? For example, £5 for one group and £6 for another, rather than percentage-based tiered pricing? Yeah, great question. So yet again, we have a solution for this, and that's actually our WooCommerce Wholesale Pro plugin. We have a section we're coming up to later in this broadcast about the Wholesale Pro plugin, but just to show you now, I'll just show you on the back end what you can do. You can actually set up different wholesale roles, and then you can assign users to those roles. So some wholesale users might get a certain discount, and you can set this up on a per product level, by the way. And then other wholesale users would get a different discount or a different price per product. And you can keep adding wholesale roles, and you can keep adding users to those wholesale roles. So that kind of answers that question. Wholesale Pro is probably the easiest and best way to set up this kind of pricing per customer or per group of customers specifically. But to go back to this question here about how to show the variations, well, using our product options plugin is probably the way to go here. Product options can use the normal WooCommerce variations in the background. Can you think of a good demo for this, Katie? Because I didn't actually bring one up earlier.
Oh, variations. I suppose it doesn't have
Maybe.
to be variation. Yeah,
No.
you've got color swatches there. So
Yeah.
icing color, I don't think that
Mhm.
is literally variations, but if the icing color options were variations, then it would look just like that. If you
Mhm.
had 95 of them, then you would have 95. You can also hide the names, so that would allow you to have a lot more per row.
Mhm.
If you can visualize that, it wouldn't be that big a block, would it, if it was just the little square for each color that you click on?
Yeah, it
But
depends
you
on
had
all the
another idea,
formatting.
didn't you, to make it
Mhm.
displayed even more effectively?
Yeah, so my idea was you have, initially you have this kind of, uh conditional logic for the different groups of colors. So if you have a bunch of yellow shades, you could have like a maybe not a radio button, like a checkbox for yellow shades, and then it would open up all of the color swatches within the yellow palette, and then you could continue to do that for all of the different shades until you have all your 95 colors, but they don't all display immediately on the color on the page. You know, you could start with something simpler and then get more complex, more detailed from there as the customer, requires it. And that conditional logic, by the way, um, oh, it's not enabled on this page, but I showed it to you earlier. It's where you select something and something else pops up as a result of that being selected. So it kind of hides the more advanced settings behind that option. So I hope we've answered your question. The basic takeaway is that a combination of WooCommerce Product Options along with Wholesale Pro is going to be the most eloquent way to solve your problem. All right. So yeah, like I said, we came back to product options. We always come back to product options.
Right, and I
We have a
think we're
live
doing
question. Mhm.
oh, okay, should we do that now then?
Yeah, sure. It's about bulk variations.
Yes, yeah. So Simeon asks, hi, with the bulk variations plugin, can I only use one variation attribute size and allow customers to choose quantities for multiple sizes like 5XL and 2L, etc.? Yeah, can you go back to the printer, that one? So this is a really good example of that. You can have the colors or sizes in your case as columns like we've got here, or you can have them as rows if you'd rather it was taller rather than wider. And
Mhm.
either way, you can see here that each color in this case, size in your case, has its own quantity field. So instead of cyan, you would have small or S, for example, and then instead of magenta, you would have M, and each one you choose the quantity. So that's exactly how you would want it to work. We've got the stock visible here, but you may not want that. With clothing, often you probably would want the stock visible, but you don't have to, and it will grey out of stock anyway. So if you don't want to clutter up the table with stock like we have done there, then you don't have to.
Mhm. Yeah, you can make it a lot more simple if you need it to.
Yeah, and I see Keely's watching live, which is great, and
Mhm.
says, with Wholesale Pro, do I need to use the percentages? No. So, yeah, you can see in the third column of the table there, it says product specific pricing. Product
Mm.
specific pricing allows you to override the percentages for specific products as you choose. And if we go into one here, then we're going to scroll down and you can see that you can enter an exact amount that each role will be charged. You choose how many roles and you have and what they're called and all of that. They will then appear here on the edit product screen so that you can add it. That if you have loads of products, it can take a while, obviously, to go into the edit product screen and set those prices. One solution to that is to use a tool called Setary, which you can get from setary.com. We're actually part owners of Setary, and it
Mm.
integrates with Wholesale Pro so that you can add that product specific pricing much more quickly basically via spreadsheets. So you just quickly add the prices for all of your products, and that way you don't have to use the percentages at all.
I'm just logging into Setary to show it off because it's worth showing along with
Okay.
the thing. It's just doing the Cloudflare check and logging in. I figured I better not show that on the feed. Oh, okay. Now I'm on the. Oh, never mind. I'm in the wrong place. I've found the wrong page. I wanted my integration with it, but it's maybe I could get it through there. Okay, I'm going to come back to that, and
Yeah.
we're going to move on.
Okay. So I think we're doing document library next, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I
I'll bring
shall
that up.
share again. So the next plugin we're going to talk about is Document Library Pro. Document Library Pro is one of our only plugins that are not for WooCommerce stores. I mean, you can use them with WooCommerce, but it's not designed for WooCommerce. It's more commonly used by organizations that need a resource library, non-profits, governments, those sorts of things that need to publish documents online. And it comes with various ways to do that. Like a lot of websites end up with just a list of links to their document, which is really not very helpful. So Document Library Pro solves that problem by displaying them in a sortable directory, either on your public facing website or a private area within your website. It comes with both options. So that way you can search for specific documents. You can use filters. For some reason, we haven't got filters on that one, but there are filters like these where you can narrow down the list of documents really easily. And I need to do some work on this demo. That's not good. And you also have a folder view where you can narrow it down based on the category structure, basically. And you can have categories and subcategories and as many levels of that as you want. And then for each document, you can have download buttons and also preview buttons, so that you might not want people to be able to download to their computer, or you might just want them to have the option to preview first. Now that's Document Library Pro. What questions did we have about it?
Yeah, good question. By the way, did we already release version 3.1?
I'm not a numbers person. There was a big release recently. Was that 3.1?
I don't know actually, but let me worry about that later. Okay, we'll worry about that later. Here's a question. Are there restrictions on file types? And I'm specifically wondering about .wif, a weaving design file that is essentially a specifically formatted text file. This comes from Complex Weavers. I'm guessing that's a store name. Well, great question. So I do have a page open, which is something. This is the one. Yep. This is on our knowledge base, and it basically explains that there aren't really restrictions on the type of file. It just depends on a couple of things related to your hosting and how everything works together on the back end of your site. But basically, you can enable different file types in the settings of the. Is this in the plugin, or is this under? Oh, this is under network admin settings for multi-site. Okay, no. But yeah, in general, the plugin doesn't restrict what kind of uploads you can have and call as a document, but you might be limited in other ways. So you just have to give it a try. You can actually load up a demo site. It's like a live demo of the plugin from our website, and then you can just test it out, right? Do you think that would work, Katie?
That wouldn't test whether they have restricted file types on their own WordPress install, but it's not a problem. This article tells you how to allow additional file types. So let's say you had said that zip files are not supported for some reason. You can change that and allow it.
Yeah, and I'll link to this page in the description of the YouTube video shortly after we're finished going live here. All right. So thank you for the question, Complex Weavers, and I hope you have fun with your weaving. I never knew there was a file type for weaving. That's something new for me. This one's for Katie.
Okay, next question. Does the plugin give statistics of downloads? Well, Document Library Pro itself gives you basic statistics of downloads. What that is in the back end, the list of all your documents has a downloads column, which just gives you the total all-time number of times that document has been downloaded. If you want, you can display that in the front end. I don't think that's a particularly useful feature. It reminds me of, do you remember like 20 years ago, people, you're probably not old enough, Sam, people had hit counters on their websites and things, and like Why would you want the public to see how many people have visited your website? So it reminds me a bit of that. I don't think it's particularly useful, but in the back end, you do often want to know how many people have downloaded it. If you want more advanced statistics, then there are various ways to do that. Probably the best one is that the Conversion Bridge plugin has integrated with Document Library Pro, and that basically creates a bridge, hence the name, which bridges Document Library Pro and its data with whichever analytics software you use, which might be, say, Google Analytics or Fathom. And that allows you to actually see your document downloads in Google Analytics or Fathom or whatever. And it does it by tracking them as events. And so it works in the same way as other events you may be tracking. You can do those things without Conversion Bridge via event tracking. It's just more technical. So Conversion Bridge have made that easy. And I believe that the Document Library Power Pack plugin, which is by one of the developers in our services team who has released this Power Pack as an independent add-on for Document Library Pro, that has additional download features as well, which I think appear directly in the admin rather than in your analytics. So think about what source of analytics you want and where you want to access that, because there's various options.
Mm-hmm. We actually have released the 3.1 update, which was announced last month.
Is that the one with lead capture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where would I find that? Is that in our settings or is it something else?
Lead capture is on the general settings page. Yeah, we haven't enabled it on the demo because it's global, and it's not, the majority of people won't want to take an email address in order to allow people to download a document. So yeah, it's on the general page. You can enable it and then go in incognito, and it will require you to enter your email before you can access a document.
Oh, there it is, lead capture. Yeah, I'll share this while I'm here. So this is the general settings page for the Document Library Pro plugin, and it's near the bottom at the moment. I don't know if that will change in the future, but we have lead capture. So if I enable that, then it will bring up a whole bunch of additional settings for the recipient's email address. And well, I'm not going to read through all this, but yeah, you get the idea. You get a lot of options related to lead capture, which is the newest addition to this plugin. So there you go. If you want some other things related to statistics, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, and that does work with Conversion Bridge as well. So you can track the lead captures. So when people submit their email address with Conversion Bridge. And I was also told today that Document Library Power Pack is about to release some enhancements to the lead capture features, such as more complex lead capture forms to make it more customizable and things like that. So always things happening.
By the way, I got the Setary integration up and running. So this is an example of what it could look like if you have integrated Setary with your WooCommerce plugin. And this is basically everything about each product listed in a table format. So you can enable, disable, choose, change, edit, write, rewrite, anything about your products all in one place. And the great thing about being a table is you can select many things at once using filters or just by selecting many things at once. And you can make bulk updates in that sense. So in terms of editing products on a large scale quickly, I am yet to find any kind of plugin that does it better. And by the way, Setary is a separate app. It's like a SaaS, but it has an integration plugin with WordPress. So you add the Setary plugin and you buy or get the Setary app, and then you integrate them. And this is where you can do all of your product editing to save a lot of time. Excuse me.
Yeah. And if you had product specific wholesale prices, then there'd be columns for that. So that way you can add them quickly.
Mhm.
Back to the previous question.
Exactly. And speaking of wholesale, we're actually going to jump into that one next. So I'll bring up the screen. I just need to find it first because otherwise I might show you all my secret license key. It's under WooCommerce settings. That's the one. There we go. So I talked a little bit about this plugin already. This is our WooCommerce Wholesale Pro plugin. And besides the general settings, there's roles that I showed you before. So you set up the wholesale roles and the general discount that they will have, as well as if they are allowed product-specific pricing, which we just discussed. But then there are also this is if you have product table, you can integrate it. You can manage all of the emails that are being sent out from your store and these ones that relate to your wholesale account users. So you can send out emails to those new registrants as well as when they're approved or declined. There are registration fields. So when somebody wants to register their new account with you, you can set up how many different details you might need. You might need a VAT number, you might need a phone number, an address. You can add those in yourself. Then there are different payment roles. So this is how they can pay. Have I got that right? How they can pay based
So
on
different
what
payment
role they
methods.
have.
Yeah, so different people will see different payment options on the checkout page. Like often you might allow wholesalers to pay by invoice, but your retail customers have to pay online.
Is this new? Because I swear I just made a video about this topic and we had to use a separate plugin for it.
Yeah, no, I think this
No.
predates you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna check that video when we're done because I might might have
You might have
followed
given
a
someone a free
different.
plug when we could do it.
Yeah, I'll double check that. Maybe that was the alternative to getting the thing. And then there are also shipping roles as well. So besides the individual pricing features, this plugin is a complete, like beginning to end, in and out wholesale plugin. So we just have one question about it from Gary that Katie will answer.
Yeah. Does the wholesale plugin work with the WooCommerce Product Bundles plugin? We have some products that we sell wholesale, which also have optional products offered at discounted rates. Yeah, that's fine because WooCommerce Wholesale Pro hooks into the main price field in WooCommerce itself. WooCommerce Product Bundles is an official extension that uses the standard methods of displaying pricing and things as it should do. And therefore, Wholesale Pro can hook into that nicely. And so that means that the price of the optional bundle products on the product page will be crossed out with the wholesale price for your role displayed alongside.
What would be the way that they could disable the additional discount? Because I'm assuming if they're bundling products, they're getting some discount for that bundle. But if they want the wholesale main price to stay, not stay, but to be adjusted for the wholesale user, but the bundle prices to stay consistent, then what would that look like?
I don't know. That's quite complex. I think generally the principle is, let's say you sell to retail full price, but the bundle has a discount to retail, and you sell to wholesale with a 30% discount. The same bundle discount would apply across both, but Wholesale Pro would give a further 30% off because wholesale users should pay 30% less than retail, whether it's a discounted price or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
They would
sense.
both
But is
get
there
a
any way
discount.
to exclude anything from the wholesale thing? Because you would just set the wholesale specific pricing, and then you would just reset the price to whatever the price you want it to be for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think it goes that far with it wouldn't do contextual discounts where if they buy X product as part of a bundle, they do not get the wholesale discount. If they buy that product standalone, they do. That's not part of it. It's just that the standard
No,
discount on
but I
that
think
product would
I
apply.
think it's not that complicated. Like, For example, if you start with the bundle and the main product is $10 and the bundle item is $5 because of the discount, they're usually $10 separately, but they're 10 plus 5, $15 for the bundle. Then you would have the discounted bundle, the discounted first item is $7. And if you set the wholesale specific pricing, no, because then to $10, but then it would still be discounted normally, right?
Yeah, maybe you'd be better off
Maybe.
using our WooCommerce Discount Manager plugin and building that
Mm,
logic into a complex discount, because that has things like buy to get whatever discount, or
mm,
buy a certain set of products for a fixed price or something like that. So, and
mhm,
that integrates with Wholesale Pro as well. So there, as always, there are many ways to do these things. But in
mhm,
terms of Gary's requirements, he hasn't said that he wants to exclude wholesalers from any discounts added at the bundle level, just whether the wholesale discount will push through to those product bundles, I think.
mhm. This is the setting within the wholesale role for allowing exact wholesale prices to be set for individual products. So that's how you enable that if you need it. All right. I think we've actually gone through all of our pre-submitted questions at this point. And we did briefly mention a few other plugins, like you just mentioned, Discount Manager. So if you want to bring up a demo of that now that you've mentioned it, totally up to you, Katie. But
Yeah, let's
other
do
than
that.
that,
Give some
while
context.
you're doing that, I have actually something I can do. First, hide that. I can actually show you guys that for those of you who are watching live, and if you missed the beginning of the show, by the way, it is our 10th anniversary celebration for Barn2. And for those of you watching live, you can get a 25% off discount for any of our plugins for just the next hour after this live stream ends. So yeah, you got to be quick. Live 25, very simple. 25% off. If you are visiting our website any of this last week or so, you might have noticed a 10% discount, but we're giving you 25% off for those of you watching live. All right, you can take it away, Katie. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah. So before we finish, quick run through of WooCommerce Discount Manager. The thing that makes this different to a lot of pricing plugins is that it actually displays the discounts on the front end as well. So let's go to a buy one, get one free product. So I'm going to go through to the product page, and it can display content like this. That's a fairly basic example. If you have got a which is a bulk pricing one, then that adds a whole table showing that if people buy bigger quantities, they're going to save more money. So that encourages people to buy more. So we've thought really carefully about the different display options that you might want for different types of discounts. And it also works with our other plugins like Wholesale Pro we've talked about, but also a lot of people use it with bulk variations, because that's all about buying in bulk. So you want to give bulk discounts at the same time. I'll just show you in the back end a bit, because that fits with something we were talking about a minute ago. You can create all sorts of discount types with this pop-up. So let's go for the bundle example we were talking about. Buy X products for a fixed price. This could be an alternate way to create a product bundle. And you can add a name and things. You can choose which products are included in that bundle. So I don't think I would ever buy a salad with a beanie, but let's do that. And chicken wings. Maybe it's a promotional
Sorry,
beanie.
Katie. Do you mind
Yeah.
zooming in a little bit? Because I think it's kind of hard to
Okay.
see what's on the screen there.
What happens if I do this? Is that better?
Oh yeah, that's much easier to see.
Yeah. Okay. So I've selected specific products, and then you can choose, like, so let's say if you buy 3, then it might cost $20 or something like that. So you can create a fixed bundle price. If you would prefer to give a discount if you buy the right combination of products, then you choose the other one, buy X products for Y discount. But we're doing fixed price for now. And with the wholesale side of things, you can choose which roles it applies to. If you have WooCommerce Wholesale Pro installed, then your wholesale roles will obviously appear here as the user roles. So that way you can choose, you can actually set up different bundle deals per role, and then you can consider how that's going to fit in with your wholesale pricing and make sure that it's not doubling up or anything like that. It gives you a lot more control to do it that way. And then you can add like your product page content. So buy 3 for 20 or whatever. And if your theme comes with lots of styles and fancy boxes and things, then they will all work within this field as well. So you can add really eye-catching displays, which will automatically appear on all of the products that this applies to.
Nice one. Yeah, and then it'll show up on the front end, and yeah, you can show off that you have the discount. First of all, you can inform customers when they have received the discount in the basket. You get a little cart notice, things like that. And yeah, so customers know what they're getting into. They know what kind of discount they're getting. And you can set up all kinds of different discounts for different occasions. And yeah, have fun bundling different products together. All right. Thank you so much, Katie, for demoing that. And congrats to Barn2 for turning 10 years old. That's quite the accomplishment. Do you want to share any of the milestones or figures like that, like you share on Twitter sometimes?
No, I think that's the main one for this. And also, yeah, we should remind about the discount again. We're publicly doing a 10% off because of 10 years of selling plugins. But for the live stream for the next hour, you can have 25% as a thank you for watching here. And the code for that is live25.
And in a little over a month, we'll be doing another one of these live streams. You can register questions on our events page. But if you have questions, in the next couple of weeks, I wouldn't wait till the 30th of April. Just ask our amazing support team at barn2.com/support or support center, I guess. And yeah, we'll catch you then. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye.